Okay, hello, hello, hello. We are live. I am going to be talking today about your discovery call. Hey, I am baby. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I should have Instagram. I should have Facebook. I should have LinkedIn. So check in. Let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know in the chat what you hope to get out of this live today. I'm so glad to have you guys. Gonna be getting started. Let me just go ahead and make sure I have my comments selected. Hey, Jennifer. Okay, good. I can see names. Wonderful. Well, I'm gonna just get right into it again. Let me know where y'all are checking in from. Let me know what you hope to get out of this live. So, today I'm going to be talking all things discovery calls. If you are new to the TC or VA space, if you are a solopreneur at all, you know the importance of a discovery call. Basically, the discovery call is hey PJ, how are you? The discovery call is a call that the client or the potential client initiates to find out more about your services. So this call is yours to lose or to screw up. So when you have the discovery call, um, it's already because they are interested in what you have to offer. So being a solopreneur, it's very necessary that you have some sort of framework that you follow, some kind of guideline that you follow on each discovery call. At some point in the future, I will talk about, the framework leading up to the discovery call that I teach in my TC Playbook course. There is a complete framework for how you attract clients, how you get clients, what do you do once you've gotten them? So that's the stage we're on now. What do you do once a person has expressed interest in your business? So let me check my notes here. The first thing I want to tell you is just introduce myself to you really quickly. I'm Courtney Rozier. I am the CEO and founder of Time Freedom TC. I also train other ambitious women that are like me how to launch their own TC business. I have officially had Time Freedom TC since 2018. However, before I even, formally structured my business, I have been, working under Time Freedom TC since 2016. So I've had a lot of bumps and bruises, and I am very qualified to tell you guys the things that have worked for me, things that have worked for my students in the TC Playbook. Secondly, let's talk about what a discovery call actually is. So I briefly mentioned that this is a call that a potential client initiates after they've seen all of your lovely content, after you've educated them about your services. Now they are ready to have a conversation about that to kind of further understand what you're offering. Contrary to popular belief, the discovery call is not just for a client to decide or qualify you or decide if they want to work for you. The discovery call is for you to decide if you want to work with that client. I understand when you are new to the business, you want to get any and every client. And I understand that. But there are some things that you may want to look out for when you're having this call to see if this person would be a good fit for your business. So let me just check my notes here. Let's see. PJ says she is checking in from YouTube. I don't know why it says view request. Okay, no, she wants to come on live with me. PJ, I hope you can see me. Okay, so we talked about what a discovery call is. In the real estate space, we call the discovery call a consultation. And this is just kind of a call where you're kind of providing all of the information. But the difference in a discovery call is that while you're telling information about your business, you also want to build a connection with the person that you're talking to. So you really want to encourage them to, connect with you and tell you the things that makes them passionate about their business and things like that. And then you can kind of move from there. So let's get into the steps. Is everybody still with me? Let me get a thumbs up if you are still with me, guys. I see, is it VJ? She's checking in from Atlanta. Welcome, welcome, everybody. I hope if you're checking in from the Facebook group, put a FB in the chat so that I can know that everybody that I'm trying to reach is on this call. All right, so let's get into these steps. So step one, well, these aren't really steps. These are tips, okay? So you don't have to do these in any particular order. So tip one is simple. You're going to start with a greeting. Okay, hey, Facebook guys, for some reason, I cannot see your names. I hate that. I can see Jennifer, but I can't see the other two that checked in. So hey, ladies, or hey, guys, whoever's checking in. Okay, tip one. You want to just simply start with a quick greeting. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. But before you even get on the call, I recommend that you research this potential client. See if they're active on social media, check their pages, see if you can glean any information from them. Did they have a closing this week? Did they have a video in their story with them pulling into their garage at 10 o'clock at night saying that they still have admin work to do? Do they have a caption about, oh, now I gotta, do all this paperwork? What about their personal life? Do they have kids? Is there any common threads between you and them that you can glean from looking at their page? That could really make you stand out in the crowd because, you're building a connection and you show that you care. So back to the call. Immediately with the greeting, you want to take the lead. You do that by kind of communicating an agenda with them. So you want to explain the purpose of the call, what you plan to accomplish with the call, and then most importantly, what happens next should you guys decide to work together. Okay. So most real estate agents or all real estate agents have, buyer and listing consultations, and they're the expert on those calls. When they get on a call with you, you're the expert on this call. So you should lead the call. And so what that looks like is, hey, I'm so glad we had this opportunity to get to know each other. Hey, I want to go over a quick agenda with you. First, I want you to tell me all about you and your business. Then I'll tell you a little bit about how I work, my processes and systems, and then I'll provide next steps on how we can work together. How does that sound to you, Mr. Seller, or Mr. Agent? We'll see if we're a good fit. That is, going to build respect. It's going to build trust that you're an expert in what you do. When these buyers or when these agents are working with their clients, like they're constantly having to take the lead. So they will be happy to have someone else lead a call so they don't have to think. So anyway, I think that that's a great first tip, is to be the leader that you are, be the expert that you are. The next tip is tip number 2. You want to ask open-ended questions. There are no yes or no type questions. You want to encourage conversation and connection. So the first open-ended question that I ask simply is, so tell me about your business. And then I shut the hell up and I let them talk. This is where they usually tell me how long they've been in the business and what their goals are for their business. And I'm listening carefully to what they're saying and to what they're not saying. So most of the time, this question will evoke emotion, whether it's passion and excitement or it's overwhelm and depression. So I pay close attention. And then to take it a step further, I may ask questions about like transformational questions. Like, what would your business look like if you didn't have to worry about the paperwork from contract to close on a regular, on a regular basis? And hear what they have to say. Most of the time, this conversation between us, I try to make it feel like two old friends. I mean, not all the time. Some people, you don't make that connection, and those particular discovery calls may or may not end up being anything. But my best calls are when I can build on a connection with the people. And so for me, I like to feel like two friends catching up. Those are my ideal clients. I'm not all 100% business all the time. Whether it's my marketing or whatever, I try to come from a relatable place, and I try not to be too stuffy and take myself too seriously. So that's also how I come across somewhat on the discovery call. I want to come across friendly and kind of like your sis, but also professional. So it's a fine line. So it's not something that you have to get right off the bat. But sometimes too, because I get all of my clients, or a lot of my clients are either from word of mouth and or from Instagram and Facebook and things like that. So they're seeing a lot of my personality. So by the time that we do talk, they kind of have an idea of who I am, and we just kind of are able to easily banter with one another. So ask open-ended questions was tip 2. Anybody have any questions so far? Make sure you guys are putting questions in the chat, because hopefully we'll have a minute or two at the end to do a quick Q&A. So if you have any questions about anything that I'm going over, make sure that you put those in the chat. Hey, okay, you're from Dallas. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Amber from Atlanta. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to tip number 3. Tip number 3 is just listen carefully. A lot of times, and I learned this working as a realtor, sometimes you just have to listen and then be quiet, or say what you have to say and be quiet. That is like the first rule in negotiations. So this is no different. Listen to what the person is saying. So let's take, I mentioned also that I like to talk about being old friends. And my last open ended question that I typically will ask is, have they ever worked with a TC before? I meant to say that and I forgot. Have they ever worked with a TC before is very important. So take that question, for example. That's a question that's a loaded question, and that's a question that I would ask, and then I would listen carefully. Okay. Have you worked with a TC before? For me, if they're complaining about their previous transaction coordinator, I have to figure out if they truly had a lousy TC, or if it's a matter of unmet expectations. So, for instance, if they say something like, oh, I didn't like my experience with my last TC because they were never available on the weekends or after hours, or they would not draft my offer. They wouldn't draft offers for me. These are things that would tell me that it's more than likely unmet expectations. These are things that you should cover in this discovery call if you don't do those things. So again, listen very carefully to what they're saying and what they're not saying. In my experience, nothing can make a relationship go sour, whether it's business or personal, quicker than unmet expectations. So expectations, being upfront about expectations are very important. So listen to what they're saying and what they're not saying. Remember, you're also discovering them. They're not only discovering you. Okay, we're trying to see if we're a good fit for each other. So listen to things that may or may not overstep the boundaries that you already have set in your business. All right. So tip number 4, we're getting through these tips, honey. Okay. So now you've gotten that out the way. You've heard about their business. Now you're ready to tell them about your services and how you can transform their business. Okay. You have an understanding of their style, how they work, and what their needs are. So now you can tell them how you can help them. You can really blow them away. So, what I like to do at this point is go over what they can expect from the time they submit a binding contract until closing. This is the perfect time to also tell what you don't offer. This kind of goes about what I was saying on tip number 3. There's nothing worse than having an agent call you on a Sunday afternoon asking you to write an offer, and that's not something that you offer. So there's no sense in withholding information on this initial call just to get the sale. That is a big mistake. So here I discuss my availability. I talk about my pricing, the services I offer, and the services that I don't offer. Again, unmet expectations causes hard feelings. So don't be afraid to cover everything now while everything is happy-go-lucky. Okay. All right. Is everybody still with me? Let me get a fire emoji in the comments if you are getting something out of this. I hope I'm not talking too fast. I'm just I don't want to keep everybody too long, and I want to have time for questions at the end if you have any. So, all right. Okay, so now tip number 5, we want to discuss next steps. Before ending the call, you want to give them the next step of the journey. Okay. So, my client onboarding journey includes this discovery call, and then immediately following, they receive a client onboarding email. The email includes instructions on how to get started immediately. I follow up to ensure that there were no additional questions from them. And we just kind of go from there. I have an automation set up where they get this email while we're on the call. And this gives them the opportunity to fill out my login credentialing form as well as my service agreement. And 9 times out of 10, when they've scheduled a discovery call with me, they already have deals in mind to submit to me. So this is just, they do that immediately and we can get started immediately. So always explain the next steps and always follow up. So my follow-up is that email, but if they haven't filled out those forms that are included in the email, then I'll follow up in 3 days and say, hey, just following up to see, what you thought about the information that we shared. Do you think you'd be sending us a contract soon? Like, you definitely want to ask for the business, like, hey, will you be sending us a contract? So that's step 5. Now, I do have a quick bonus. So there's a secret sauce that can help you stand out even further. So if the client feels like a good fit and you've established kind of a good rapport, you can get a little more assertive with your close. Okay. So this could look like recapping the call where you're outlining their pain points and your solutions, and sprinkling a little bit of transformation, sprinkling a little bit of what their life could be like if they hired you as their TC. Now, here is the bonus. Closing the call with, do you think, based on what I've shared, that this will benefit your business? And then be silent and listen. So I know this can be a little overwhelming when you first do it, but you're only doing this if the call is going great. If you're feeling like 2 old friends talking, then you definitely need to close the call with, hey, do you think that this business would be a good fit for you? Get an answer from them, because you're giving them an opportunity to put it out in the universe that they're going to use you for their next transaction. Again, the discovery call for this business in particular, I've never seen it as a sales pitch. I am not a salesperson. I'm not salesy, but I do have services and products to sell. But the TC, the TC, what we handle as a TC is a no-brainer for many agents, assuming that they have the right mindset. Um, and that mindset is an agent that understands that the only way that they can scale their business is through leverage. If they understand that, they will be open-minded to hearing what you have to offer and hiring your company to handle those things. So again, the client already knows what you have to offer when they schedule the call. So this is a low pressure call. This is to get to know each other and ensure that you gel. That's it. That's all. So guys, that was all I have for today. Again, I did not want this to be a long, drawn out live. I don't get live often. So I plan on it, but I haven't been. As many of you know, my page was recently hacked just last week. So I'm trying to um, increase my Instagram followers again. So if you are joining me from Facebook, make sure you join me also on Instagram, because a lot of times I'll forget to post my cute little reels and informational stuff on my Facebook page. So you can follow me on Instagram at court_Rosier_the closer. Also, if you guys don't know, I also train other TCs with my TC Playbook mentorship program. It is a hybrid between self-led and mentorship. You get live access to me once a month within the TC Playbook, and we're gonna be relaunching that in a couple of weeks. So if you're not already, you need to get on the wait list. And it's coming up now. It's the tcplaybook.com. It's actually /waitlist. And we're updating that right now. So make sure you guys get on the wait list. If you're not already in my course, you definitely want to sign up for the wait list to get early bird access to special discounts. And I will be in the coming weeks be explaining a little bit more about what's included in that. Did anybody have any questions about how to make your discovery call yours? Have you guys done a discovery call yet? What have you found that you would be using? Which of these tips will you be using with your next discovery call? Let me know in the chat. Hey, Tiff. The H is silent. Okay. Got it. Okay, I was just checking some posts here. Okay, well, if no one has any questions, the only question that I typically get about discovery calls is just what to say. And so I hope that I was able to kind of give you some examples of how to ask certain questions. I know for me, when I first started in real estate, period, I was terrified to get on a consultation call, like with a buyer. And I would sit there with my mentor at the time and just listen to her take calls. And like she would ask stuff about, their savings, like, hey, how much money you got for this? And I was like blown away, like, oh my God, you're asking these questions. I'm so scared to ask. But the more that I did it, the easier it was, because you have to realize that this discovery call, regardless of your business type, the discovery call is going to weed out who is not a good fit. And when you know that, you know that you don't want to waste any time. When I was a buyer's agent, getting on a discovery call and I'm not asking about their money, but I'm going to get in my car and show them some houses. It only takes one time to waste your time, with somebody who's not qualified to buy a house. It only takes one time to waste your time before you're like, okay, I'm going to ask the hard questions. I'm going to, I'm going to set my boundaries. I'm going to do those things. because I don't want to waste anyone's time. So I hope that this was helpful for everyone. Um, I don't see any more calls or any more questions. Okay, guys. Well, if there are no more questions, then I am going to sign out now. Thank you guys for joining. Hey, if you are joining from the replay, go ahead and put that in the comments as well. I want to see how many people have had access to this live. And again, thank you everybody for joining today. Be on the lookout. I'm going to try to go live more often. I'm usually so nervous about doing these things, but I got some information that y'all need to know. So make sure you guys are following me on Instagram, court_Rosier_ the closer. And if you're in the Facebook group, I'll see y'all later. All right. Bye.